Year 1137. Summer. The Overseer of Magura. Two major events take place while you are busy living your life. Firstly, Cornelius Tempest is no longer the Great Chancellor of the Empire. He has been ousted and sent back to his province. His replacement is the Archduke of Monia, Agrius Monrogue, the same Monrogue who sought to shut down the college. The most powerful lord in the realm finally convinced the Emperor that his brother Cornelius was giving too much freedom to the lowborn. Well, this doesn't bode well. Now the policies of the Empire will be reversed. Many fear that the new Great Chancellor will destroy the Imperial Code of Laws and other achievements of Cornelius. There are cautious rumors among the people. They say the new Great Chancellor is going to revoke the right of the common lot to be ennobled by the mantle. Well, we'd better hurry up with that ennobling then. Secondly, Magura, your homeland, now has a new overseer, Gaius Tempest, the other brother of Emperor Uther II. Usually the overseer of a province is its archduke. After all, it makes sense for the province's most powerful noble to impart the emperor's will to the locals. Yet now this age-old tradition has been broken, and to no one's surprise, Archduke Tarquinius Melanius is absolutely furious. Gaius Tempest used to be the main supporter of his brother, former Great Chancellor Cornelius Tempest. The nobles at the Emperor's court say this is a stratagem by the Arcanian gentry who want Gaius removed from court affairs along with Cornelius. Either way, Gaius Tempest and Tarquinius Melanius will be at each other's throats over the province. This does not bode well for their future. Only one thing is clear. Magura, your home province, is about to face great changes. Power has gone up. Order has gone up. We've got peace, though. We have secured peace. You know, everything's fine. This is fine. A great feast for all. The capital is preparing for a great celebration. The coming of age of Gerion Tempest, heir to the throne. The streets are being cleaned, the lowborn merchants are gone from the squares, and flags and flower garlands have appeared on the buildings. By the Emperor's decree, everyone will celebrate for the next 3 days. Eterna is abuzz. A festive procession starts on the streets. Suddenly, that's not even that remotely. Students from the college and cadets from the military academy will be there to show their gratitude to the Emperor's family for entrusting them with the power they wield. Ribbons and flags flutter in the wind, the streets are scrubbed clean, and the scent of flowers fills the air. You march side by side with Thomas, carrying the banner of your province. Your friend's brown hair is unusually well combed today. He waves to every girl you see on the streets as you pass by. They giggle shyly, and some of them wave back. Did you see that, pal? Look at that beauty. She just smiled at me. Now this is what I call living. I just love parades. The Tempest royal family observes the slowly approaching parade from the balcony of the Imperial Palace. They are joined by the Empire's highest dignitaries and provincial overseers. You see Emperor Uther II with your own eyes, there, high above you, yet so close. The columns come to a halt at the balcony, and salute the Emperor with the mottos of the college and the academy. You join the other college students in crying, "Learning is strength, learning is will." The Emperor raises his hand in a gesture of benevolent greeting. His voice echoes across the square. Well, he looks unpleasant. I accept your gratitude, my loyal subjects. Take pride as you wield your knowledge and valor in service of the Empire. All who are worthy will be ennobled by the mantle, by my grace. The future nobles around you cheer the Emperor's words, but their jubilation gives way to murmurs of discontent when Archduke Monrogue, the new Great Chancellor of the Empire, steps onto the balcony. Everyone here remembers all too well how the Archduke attempted to shut down the college by force. Still, the Archduke is the de facto leader of the Arcanian gentry. He is a force to be reckoned with, even for the Emperor. And so, he is the Great Chancellor now. Hail your empire, common folk! Be forever obedient and grateful for the good graces you do not deserve by birth! The Archduke does not even bother to hide his contempt for the gathering below. Booed by the crowd, he rejoins the dignitaries in the back row. You notice one of them. A slender, elegant figure under an emerald banner with a black snake. She is Octavia Melandus, daughter to the Archduke of Magura. Now that's new. You noticed Octavia too, eh? Archduke Melandus sent his daughter in his stead. That's a sign of disrespect for the Emperor if I've ever seen one. Is he so enraged because he's no longer the overseer of Magura? I mean, you can imagine his surprise. That's never happened before. But then everyone grows silent. A young, slender Arcanian with a shy smile comes forth. There are whispers in the crowd that's Prince Geryon, heir to the throne, ward of Cornelius, promise and hope of the common estates. To the left of Geryon is his youngest brother, Flavius. He is baffled at the sight of the parade below, too young to process what he is seeing. May the twins be kind to you, my future subjects. I promise to repay you in kind, and help you prosper in loyal service to the Empire. Exalted by these words, the future nobles roar as one, All hail Prince Geryon. Another figure steps into view next to the heir. He is an Arcanian, elegantly dressed, and his mantle bears the Tempest colors. He raises his arms, about to make a speech. Hey look, that's Gaius Tempest, the Emperor's brother, and the new overseer of Magura, by the by. It seems the Arcanian elders want him as far from the throne as possible, just like his brother Cornelius. Those two have been promising too many freedoms to commoners like you and me. Long live Prince Geryon. Students of the college, cadets of the academy, time and time again, you have proven yourselves to the Empire by word and by deed. Today is a day of great celebration, and in honor of Prince Geryon, you must ask the Emperor to guarantee forever the right of dignified, distinguished common folk to be ennobled by the mantle. So ask now. The cadets and students freeze in hesitation. They exchange glances, unsure whether to follow the words of the Emperor's own brother. On the balcony high above, Prince Geryon also remains still, awaiting a reaction from the crowd. Archduke Monrogue briskly steps into view once more. He takes several seconds to observe the crowd before he speaks. Imperial subjects, what the Emperor's brother wishes to say is that you must always remember that you owe your status to the Tempest dynasty. The Emperor accepts your gratitude and sends you off with his blessing. You may leave now. But the columns stay where they are. That's not what Gaius Tempest said. Let the Emperor hear us. The law. We ask for the law. Commotion and murmurs spread over the crowd, as some of the future nobles refuse to follow the Archduke's order. There are shouts heard here and there. The law! We ask for the law! The academy officers and teachers of the college urge them to fall in line and resume the parade. But tension is rising. The crowd slowly grows enraged and unruly. You have to decide where you stand here. You could follow the order. Power goes down, order goes up, and diplomacy goes up. Demand your rights. Valor goes up. Bide your time. Power goes down, willpower. Okay, well, let's just think about this. You could follow orders. I mean, that seems like a safe option at least. However, we do definitely want to make sure that they aren't revoking our rights to be ennobled by the time we graduate. So that might mean, maybe some demand is in order. In this case, the main concern I have is like, yes, assert yourself, I guess. It might be good, but it could also backfire, right? And they could use the unruly, would-be noble estate as justification to remove it entirely. You'd say, look, we can't ennoble these guys. Look at them. They're defying the Empire. They can't be ennobled. Cut off the system. So, if I had to pick between the two, I suppose, though, or I guess we could bide our time. Get some willpower. I'm not sure. Is the power in the province? Hold on, let me look at the... Where is it? The province. So right now... Okay, so if power goes up, the commoners are in power. And if the power's down, that's the nobility's in power. Gotcha. Okay. In that case... So... I'm not sure declining that power is actually good for us, necessarily. So we'll demand our rights. Gotta stand up for your rights. You gotta fight for your rights to party. You cry out in support of Gaius Tempest's call for the law. You have the right to be heard. You have the right to ask. Your voice grows stronger, soon others join you. The chant grows louder with every second. The law! The law! Inspired by the support of your fellow students and cadets, you move through the square and urge others to join you. Thomas walks by your side, waving his arms wildly, inciting others to shout along with you. The law! The law! You, Thomas, and other vocal students and cadets gather in the very center of the square. Academy officers are trying to shout you into submission and order you back into the procession, but they are barely heard above your chant. Still, some submit and form back into the columns. But the impassioned chant continues, and you are at the very heart of the chanting crowd. An Imperial Guard cavalry regiment emerges from the palace. They start slowly advancing on the crowd, hands on their swords, pushing people out of the square. You have to stand your ground, so you start giving orders to defend the cobblestones beneath your feet with your fellow future nobles. Well, this is escalating. You assembled into a double chain formation around the center of the square. It is strong enough to prevent the Imperial Guard from reaching the very center. The commoners go running left and right away from the horses, but the cavalry stops when it reaches your double chain. They cannot break through unless they are ordered to attack, and so they halt and wait for orders. The horses paw at the cobblestones. The cavalry, swords are drawn, ready to come crashing down upon your heads. It is a standoff between the armor-clad cavalry and the unarmed students and cadets. Emperor Uther II appears on the balcony again, joined by his brother Gaius Tempest and the heir to the throne, Gerion Tempest. With a gesture, the emperor calls for attention. The square falls silent at the sight of the sovereign. My subjects, I have heard your request. There's no need to repeat it again and again. The great Imperial Council shall review my brother's proposal. Now follow your lot and obey my will. Continue the parade, and sing the praises to the ever-merciful Prince Gerion. These words from the Emperor are enough to quell the commotion in the square. The standoff ends and the cavalry withdraws. Well, would you look at that, old friend? We did it! We stood up for our noble right. We won. That's the Emperor's word. That's what our courage can do. Voices from the crowd are quick to disapprove. Thomas. The Emperor never gave his word, he only promised to review the proposal. People begin to argue around you again. This time, however, no one wishes to disobey the orders from on high, and so the students line up into columns once again. The bout of defiance is in the past now, and everyone resumes the festive parade through the city streets. Glory to Emperor Uther! Glory to Prince Gerion! The Way of the Sword. Your studies at the college come easily to you. Only now do you realize the importance of all the lessons you had to endure as a child at father's expense. Month after month you study the judge's trade down to the smallest details, growing more confident in your new calling with every lecture. But there is more to your education than the judge's trade and imperial law. You also learn manners and courtly etiquettes, and poetry and composition, and even fencing. On some days you go with Thomas to a deserted patch of land to practice with the sword. Then finally the day of your judge's exam comes. You send your test results to father, and he replies with an appointment to a judge's office at the prefecture of Magura. Now you have a new life and a new profession back home. You will return to your hometown as a judge. It is early morning at the great temple of the twins. Your heart skips a beat as you step inside the temple. It feels like that day from your childhood again. The priest is standing at the altar, and the temple is divided into two halves. But you are no longer a frightened little child anymore. You are now a grown man who is about to become a noble. The floor on the common side is there to cause pain. You feel the jagged edges even through the soles of your boots. This pain marks your final few seconds as a commoner. The priest stands before you. You kneel again, but now there's warm, smooth marble under your knees. You hear the words spoken above your head. From this day forth, your lot is strength and will. From this day forth, you will rule, and fight, and pursue the arts. Now rise, noble. You place your lips on the smothered steel of the sword. And when you rise again, you realize that the trembling you felt ever since your first sacrament is now completely gone. You rise a new man. Your every motion now, uncannily accurate. Your thoughts surprisingly fresh. Your muscles ready to face the fight. This day feels worthy of a poem. And now, you can compose one if you wish. You touch your back, the mark of the lash from your previous sacrament is gone completely. Erased forever. You hurry from the sacrament back to your room at the college. Your father's gift awaits you there. A sword. Your very own sword. Now to celebrate! All college students are invited to the college tournament. Then a party. The sword feels wonderful in your hand, a promise of future victories. The tournament begins! The stands are loud with anticipation. Never in your entire life have you seen so many beautiful, noble ladies in one place. But there's only one who attracts everybody's attention. The raven-haired, black-eyed Octavia Melanidas. There is no D there, is there? Melanidas. There we go. The daughter to the Archduke of Magura has graced the tournament with a visit. She's wearing a dress of emerald green, her austere hairdo immaculate. She is surrounded by her ladies-in-waiting, all beauties in their own rights. When a noble enters the tournament, he must announce the name of the lady whose honor he is fighting for. Many shout the name of their loved ones in the stalls. You know that many would fight for Octavia Melanidas, but the onus of responsibility is too great. You take a few jabs with a sword, warming up for the fight. Soon it's your turn. All eyes are on you, now. The young lady Octavia hides her face behind the hand fan, yet her eyes watch you with curiosity. Let's see, I can choose a lady of the court to fight for, which would make Melanidas Octavia ill-disposed towards me. Or I can fight in Octavia's name. That, she does remember me. Gains me some diplomacy? Increase Octavia's opinion of me? She'll be intrigued? You know what? I'm curious, what are the other things? Address her publicly? That takes some willpower. Oh, that's if she doesn't remember you. I see. So it's essentially this, but... Okay, you can send some willpower in exchange for her. Okay, gotcha. Okay, and then we could dedicate it to my father, which would get me victory, I guess. However, I never learned fencing as a child, so I can't actually win. We will fight in Octavia's name. You approach the stalls and shout clearly and loudly, "You will fight for the honor of the young Duchess Octavia Melanidas." Slowly, she rises from her seat. The stalls grow quiet. If you've suffered defeat after such insolent words, you may face the ire of one of the ancient Arcanian dynasties. Yeah, that is a fair point. Yikes. Sir Brian Brante? How do I know this name? Ah, yes. You have already dared to draw my attention once. In memory of our amusing encounter, I will grant you the honor of fighting in my name. Do not disgrace it. The stalls explode with applause, celebrating your courage. The first fight begins. The rules are the same as for any noble duel. Whoever draws first blood wins. Your first opponent does not put up much of a fight. A few minutes later, he misses a jab to the thigh. Your shirt is soaked with sweat. The hilt of your sword feels slippery in your wet fingers. From behind her emerald hand fan, Octavia watches you closely from her seats. You prevail in 3 fights in a row, and prepare to face a new opponent. You know him well. He was mentored at the prefecture of Eterna after you. He is an unusually quick and nimble fighter. He catches you with a feint, then follows it up with a light jab to the side. Fair enough. 3 victories, not bad. You salute Octavia Melanidus with your sword, and she gracefully accepts your gesture. You have proven yourself well, Sir Brante. Who knew you would become a noble, and we would meet again, here in the capital of the Empire? I must say, I'm amazed. The eyes of the young Archduchess follow you even as you leave the arena. You will remember this day for the rest of your life, the day when you became a noble. She's now intrigued. Octavia Melanidus has taken an interest in you. And she's got sympathy for me. Great. And we've got diplomacy. Got up to 16. We are received in elite circles now. Wonderful. Graduated from the college. Year 1137. You have earned the judge's mantle and the noble title. I wonder if that means my youth phase of life is almost over. Doth anything remain? 1137. Winter. Diamant stands trial. Wait, what? Oh. Just before you leave the capital, you overhear something unusual on the street. Junius Diamant, patriarch of Astina and one of the leaders of the new faith, will stand trial before a church tribunal. The Order of the Inquisition has accused Patriarch Junius of patronizing blasphemous witches and disseminating heresy. The Holy Tribunal claims that Junius Diamant was scheming to free all witches and sorcerers from the collars that fetter their accursed powers. And what's worse, the Patriarch was also accused of forming the Lawless, a dangerous secret society based in the imperial capital. Members of the society have been assaulting inquisitors and priests of the church, as well as freeing witches from the cleansing fire and helping them escape the holy law. Now the Patriarch must face the Holy Tribunal of the Inquisition in Eterna. By all accounts, this is a devastating blow to the new faith, and the end of days for Junius Diamant himself. The Inquisition will make the most of this opportunity to rid the land of this unwelcome Patriarch who dared shake the foundation of the old faith. But then comes the sudden news of Patriarch Junius's reply to the Holy Tribunal. It is no less stunning than the accusation. These words are nothing but lies. I will say this to anyone who dares bring this accusation against me in person, but I want those hypocrites to bear the full weight of their responsibility for this slander against me, my flock, the Diamant Dynasty, and the Holy Order. I agree to stand trial before the Holy Tribunal, but I will face them on my own land and on my own terms. Patriarch Junius has already received strong support from Patriarch Luke and many priests across Archnia. Parishes of the new faith throughout the Empire are now speaking out in support of Junius Diamant. The Church of the Twin Gods is about to be rent in twain. The Inquisition has no choice but to revoke the trial in order to avert the coming schism. Their new official stance is that Patriarch Junius has been wrongfully accused, and the Holy Tribunal will now apply more cautious judgment during any further trials against the followers of the new faith. Following the teachings of Patriarch Faudus is no longer seen as heresy by the Inquisition. Ooh. The trial of Junius Diamant has been averted, but the divide within the church is only deepening. The new faith has directly challenged the old faith. The results is uncertain, depending on who you ask. Some say Junius Diamant all but pled guilty. Others believe the Patriarch and the alleged rebellion against the church, as well as the Inquisition, is nothing but a ruse. There are also people who think the entire situation sounds like one of the secret chancellery's dirty deeds. One way or another, the Patriarch of Astina, and co-leader of the new faith, remains at his post. But for how long? And how will the old faith and the new faith clash next? The church is deeply in schism right now. A farewell to the capital. The Reglata and Talarina rivers meet outside the city walls. You have barely left the capital since you came here all those years ago. A breeze is blowing in your face, and bright noon sun hangs over the shining pillar. Your stay in Eterna has come to an end. You arrived here a boy full of hopes and aspirations, driven by your family's expectations and a desire to live your life as you saw fit. And now, you have to leave, and this thought fills you with gentle sadness, only gentle sadness. Eterna did not become your home, and yet, here you have finally found your path. Here in the capital, you became a nobleman and a judge. Now you are one of the rulers, the warriors, the pleasure seekers, the creators. Those who spill their blood for the empire and family and honor. Those who keep and honor the age-old traditions. This is your lot now. You are to work in the prefecture of your home province as a judge. Your path to this goal was a long one, and your friend Thomas was by your side all the while. You fondly recall your walks through the streets of Eterna, your secret fencing lessons with your heartfelt discussions. You have no doubt your future back in Anazote will be full of glory. And then you recall the black, enigmatic eyes of Octavia Melanidis, an Archnean from one of the great dynasties, a woman whose beauty and majesty make you tremble. You heard she would be returning to the court of her father, the Archduke, in Magura. Will you ever see her again? You will meet father once more. He tends to hide his feelings, but not this time. After all, you have fulfilled all his hopes, succeeded in your studies, and continued your family's noble legacy. Many things must have changed back home by now. You recall your older brother Stefan. Now that you have been ennobled, you are practically equals at last. This means you should follow an old tradition and bring Stefan a gift. And so you head the market for the market district of Eterna. Soon you are busy trying out swords at a weaponsmith shop. There's a lot to consider for this gift. Stefan is taller and his shoulders are broader, which means his sword must be heavier and longer. There can be no embellishments. Stefan would scoff at you if you brought him an extravagant weapon. At last you find a suitable sword. Blackened steel, a subtle ornament of leaves on the blade, and a grip shaped like women vines? I was assuming it would be woven vines. Apparently it's women vines. I'm not sure if that's a typo or not. Yeah, I think woven vines is better. It resembles the seared soil of Magura beneath the silver tree. You choose the sheath with the same diligence. There's a light wooden frame bound in thin yet sturdy leather. Will make the blade easy to draw, and the buckle is sturdy enough. You leave the shop satisfied. You leave the capital the morning after. Eterna, the city where you spent 4 years, slowly disappears on the horizon. Will you ever see the capital again? You do not know. The sword, a gift for Stefan, is in your hands. Homecoming. After 4 years in the capital, you return to your home city of Anazote. The end of youth. The years of your youth have come to an end. The time has come to leave the capital behind and return to your family and new business in your hometown of Anazote. The years away from home were full of tumult and hardship. Your adult shoulders now bear the burden of your first life-changing decisions. Did you have the freedom to choose this lot for yourself? Or was it your destiny all along, ever since your childhood years? All you can do now is follow the path that lies before you. The end of Chapter 3. And what an exciting 4 years that was. We arrived in the capital, got the path of the nobleman, the bond of friendship, we rescued Alice, and graduated. Our personality? We have successfully pushed diplomacy up into received in elite circles. I am very happy about that. And we got theology up to 10, bare minimum. A follower. You know, that's not terrible. But, you know, we should be able to do something with that at least. And, I mean, we don't talk about my ability to manipulate, which is non-existent. Oh, I didn't even realize. Most important to the judge, most important to the inquisitor, it literally says what these stats are good for. Well, good to know. Alright, important to the judge. So, I mean, I guess we did it right. We got the noble stuff. I mean, we could have pushed maybe a bit further, but it says most important, so hopefully this theology stuff will come up at some point, so it's not a complete waste. Anyways, I guess we will have to continue.